Yes, well, back with you. Welcome back. Jim Burns here again. Well, here in part 2 of our project, I've used a plastic drinking straw. That's a perfect fit inside the headlight shroud. And that will become our mold pattern for the JB Weld when we do our first coat. Okay, in this picture here, I've started applying the JB Weld. Not a lot, but just enough to get started and start to form our pattern and around our pattern and to hold the straw in place. Okay, here I've removed the straw and gave it a quick filing and sanding and then colored the area with a permanent marker so I could see, where it all needs to be filled in, shaped when we go for our second coat of JB Weld. Okay, this is just another view of what we need to fill in, and you can see the divots there and voids, and needs a little bit of more sculpting, and so we'll get busy on that, and then we'll apply a second coat. Okay, this photo shows the progress after a second coat has been applied and sanded. You can still see it needs a little more filling in and sculpting, and need a little bit more finish work on that, so we'll be going for a third coat. Okay, now in this photo, there's a slight dent to the lower right side of the shroud, which I'm leaving be. Maybe as a reminder of all the hard play she had. I didn't want to risk splitting that area from working the metal. It's barely noticeable, and the counterbore is perfectly round to seat the lens into. And you can also see we need a little bit more filing and sanding. Okay, here I've started the third and final application of the JB Weld. There's a raised shoulder just above the shroud that you can see on top there now. I wanted more dimension to the shroud, more detail than the original had on it. So I needed to form that feature into the JB Weld using needle files, fingernail, emery boards, moto tool. And if you haven't noticed yet, I'm not a rivet counter. I do not mind making improvements or additions to the originals. You can also see in this picture that I've filled in all the divots that remained after this second coat was put on. And the shroud's looking really good now. Okay, in this photo, what you see is me blending the JB Weld into and around the shroud, trying to blend it all in, give it a nice smooth surface. You can also see the beginning of that raised shoulder feature towards the shroud's front that I wanted. Okay, in this photo I blackened everything again with the marker, just checking for any divots that I may have missed or anything that looks out of shape, needs sanded down anymore. But there was a few little spots, didn't look quite right, and I'll just finish up on that one and we'll move on. Okay, this slide here, this is just a close-up of the previous slide. So it just shows how it's just about finished. Ta-da! The final result after just a little bit more sanding and coloring came out real nice. I'm very happy with it. My advice if you're going to do something like this is know when to say when. A man's got to know his limitations. With my hands curled up and now all the shaking going on, I stopped here before trying to be too picky and maybe ruining it. I'm very happy with the results, and we'll move onward now to the next part of this project, and that'll be adding LEDs to the classification lights and to the headlight, and we'll move on after that. Thanks for watching.